For sure. Top three. Here we go.
Top three. Yeah, you want to get to Jahdae Baron from Texas, our number 3 corner class.
This was so tight between 2 and 3. Also, it felt like a coin flip, and it's probably the thing I thought about most often. But at the end of the day, yeah, eventually it feels like I just had to settle on one or the other, right? It's almost like 2A and 2B. Jahdae Baron, I mean, what more can you say about him? The versatility and production inside and outside, from the outside cornerback slot, in the slot on the inside. Big-time feat. I mean, you saw it obviously with the 40-yard dash and the testing, but you see that 91.5 zone coverage grade, best in the country this year, even better than Travis Hunter, even better than Darian Porter, who was way up there. I mean, just an unreal, smart, aggressive zone coverage player. His hips turn in a hurry. He's extremely light on his feet. The transitions are crazy. I would argue that, I know there's some teams that are looking at him as a nickel, but as well as he played this year primarily on the outside at Texas for Pete Kwiatkowski, I would leave him out there. This is somebody I keep thinking about. I keep thinking about the Arizona Cardinals at 16. I kind of want this to happen now because they had the lowest zone coverage grade from their outside corners in the league this past year. I think it's Jahdae Baron. It's like, hey, you need Jahdae Baron.
And the 5th highest zone coverage rate, too. They play a lot of zone.
Yeah, Jonathan Gannon, that's what he wants to do. I think when you look at Jahdae Baron, you're getting a big-time athlete. You're getting an aggressive player who is about the action, especially in the run game. He's all about it. He ain't afraid of nobody. I will tell you that right now. He can play from anywhere. He can blitz. He can line up anywhere you want him to on the field. This is like the ultimate versatile zone coverage player that you want. I think about Lou Anarumo with the Colts. I think about Jonathan Gannon, Cardinals, Raheem Morris, Falcons. Somewhere, this guy's going in the teens. Yeah. There's too many teams where he would fit in too well where I go, even San Francisco at 11, if they didn't want to go offensive line or something in the trenches, Jahdae Baron would fit in Robert Saleh's defense. Absolutely, he would. So I think the only things you're getting with him is sometimes the lack of length can be a problem when getting off blocks and when tackling. Sometimes he's a little jumpy because he's so darn aggressive. Like, he always wants to be around the football, and it's like, okay, just lay off a little bit, and there's not a ton of man coverage experience, right? I think that's what you're talking about with him. There is a scheme thing with him where I would much rather have him in a heavy zone defense, right? And I think he would be a little lower, again, on some teams' boards, and you get that. We're getting that a lot with this corner class where I think fit's going to be a big thing. The good news with Barron as a zone corner, and I would argue the best zone corner in this class, is there's plenty of all those teams I just mentioned. San Francisco, Indianapolis with Lou Anarumo now, Atlanta, Arizona with Jonathan Gannon. If for any reason he were to drop into the 20s or even late teens to somewhere there's a trade-up spot, boy, put him in L.A. with the Rams and watch what happens. I mean, teams like that, even Sean McDermott and the Bills, if they want to get aggressive, if they can get jumpy and make a trade up, I think he'd be a perfect fit in a lot of places. And again, if a team wanted to use him as a nickel, he's got so much experience in the slot that I'd go ahead, and it would still be worthy of a first-round pick. I think you're going to see an evolution of that when it comes to drafting. If you have an elite slot player, he should go in the first round. Because even last year, there was no reason Cooper DeJean should have fell to the second round. Zero reason at all. And then he became the highest-graded corner in football in his first year. Nickel's the new base. That nickel corner is an essential position. Draft it in the first round. If you want Barron to play inside, fine. If you want him to play outside, he can play out there too. He showed it this year. But this is a terrific football player. I think he should go in the top 20.
And for, in today's day and age of the NFL, zone coverage is as prevalent as ever. Actually, Dawn, there are 29 teams in the NFL, 29 of the 32, that ran zone coverage 50% of the time or more. So you're running zone coverage the majority of time. So if it was a guy who can only work in man coverage, it actually might not be as valuable as a guy who's a really good zone corner because teams aren't running man coverage as much as they were in years past. In fact, besides Al Golden, who did it at Notre Dame, so guys who actually did it in the NFL this past year, the highest man coverage rate was at 46%, so still below 50%. Honestly, this past year.
Who was that?
It was a Jet.
Jim Schwartz?
It was actually the Lions. The Lions.
Oh, the Lions did. Okay. I know the Browns are up there. I know they run. Jim Schwartz does it a lot.
Browns are up there, yeah.
Jacksonville, I think, was up there for
Steelers.
I don't know what.
Steelers are up there. Yep. Ravens are up there as well. But yeah, even those teams are around 40%. So you're still running zone coverage the majority of time out there. So he is a very, very valuable corner today.
And I think about, too, and I thought about this with DeJean last year, but the Eagles had already drafted Quinyon Mitchell, so they didn't need DeJean to play outside. But I think about the impact, too, that a player like this, like Trent McDuffie, can have, where you see McDuffie a lot of times on early downs as outside as they're in their base personnel. And on passing downs, they have other corners with more size and things like that that can play out. Jalen Watson, Josh Williams, guys like that. then you can move Baron or McDuffie in that case to the inside. You can do that versatility of being able to do whatever you want with him and forming your defense around an elite talent like that. That's big. So it's not just, Baron and his talent alone, which is really good, and he's got a ton of experience at Texas, but the doors that he opens for you schematically. Again, I think about somebody like Lou Anarumo, who would probably move him inside, outside, all over the place, wherever you want to put him. That's the creativity you can have with a player like Jahdae Baron. And again, he's smart enough to be able to handle everything that you ask him to do.
Yeah, like I said before, he's a natural zone player with excellent instincts and anticipation. He was the most valuable corner in the nation this last year, according to our wins above average metric, even above Travis Hunter, who played two ways, right? So that was how good Jahdae Baron was this past year. I'd argue Jahdae Baron was the best corner that we had in college football this past year, earned a 90.7 grade this last year as well. Versatile player, like you said, could play the nickel, could play an outside corner. Even if you want him at safety, he could do it. I really do think he could be a decent enough safety out there too.
He's just a player that he can do it all.
Yeah.
And he has experience at safety, and he started Texas at safety his first couple of years. I mean, this is somebody who you just add as a piece to your deep. I mean, you think about that in the sense of Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah.
You think about somebody like that where you go, he's playing the slot, out, whatever, in the safety. Now he's a great safety as he's gotten older. Maybe he transitions back to safety when he gets a little bit older into his second and third contract, right? But the fact that all those possibilities are on the table with Barron as kind of this like joker piece on the defense, I think it's a player that if you have any sort of need at corner at all in one of those systems, whether it's outside, inside, or wherever, you take Barron and you go, I'll figure it out as we go. I'll start getting on the whiteboard and figuring out how to use this guy.
Yeah, very versatile player. Better athlete than even I expected him to be. He ran a 4.39 in the 40-yard dash at the combine as well. Really good run defender, can beat blocks, and is a strong tackler overall. Now, like Dalton said, he's not as comfortable flipping his hips in man coverage. Only his arms are 29 and 5/8 inches. That is in the third percentile for corner. So you kind of want him in an off coverage role, not in a press coverage role. He played a lot of off coverage at Texas this last year. And the one thing I'll say too, only 1 year of truly elite tape at Texas. Was more of a really good, solid player for the Longhorns in his 4 years before that. But I will say this is the first year he really played primarily on the outside. Before, like Dalton said, he played at safety, played in the slot a lot more. This year, in his 5th year of college football, he played on the outside, and he was the best corner in college football this past year with it. So I think he's the most versatile corner that we have in this year's draft. He could line up anywhere in the secondary and succeed. I think he's an ideal fit for zone defense. It's really worth a top 20 pick. And I don't know if this is a one-to-one comparison, but this is the same kind of talk I remember us having last year with Cooper DeJean, being like, hey, listen, this guy can play anywhere in your secondary and be a really good football player. I feel the same way about Jahdae Baron this year.
He's a player that fits in anywhere. Yeah. That's going to be, we've gotten from 4 through 10 and beyond, where we've talked about a lot of players already, and we're going to talk about a lot of players who, can they land on the right team? I don't necessarily think that's the case with Barron. I think he can work a lot of places. Like you mentioned it, not a ton of experience in man coverage, but it's not a ton of pure man coverage teams like that anyway. So
DeJean played a lot of off coverage at Iowa too. He never really played
right. They were in quarters like crazy at Iowa. So I mean, it's a darn good football player that you add to your starting 11 and you run with it.
That might be my comp actually now that I'm thinking about for DeJean.
DeJean's built a little better.
He's built a little better. Yeah, he's a little more athletic.
I got to check Trent McDuffie's size. He might be close.
That's the one that Drake shot on the chat was Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, he might. I mean, McDuffie I like a little better in man coverage too. I think those two guys are built a little bit bigger than Barron, but it's that same type of impact that you're looking for sure.
Yeah, like the versatility, and just all around good football player and off coverage.
What did you think of Trevor had comped him to Stephon Gilmore?
I don't hate that.
That's one I know he was on yesterday on our draft comp episode that he loves. He sees Stephon Gilmore with Jahdae Baron.
Oh yeah, that's a former defensive player of the year right there.
Well, right, that'll do. I mean, that's also a pretty lofty comparison. But if the great Trevor Sycamore comparing him to a former defensive player of the year, he's probably going to be pretty good.
I don't mind that at all, honestly. I'd probably go for more of a guy who played a lot of inside out in the NFL. That's why I kind of went towards a guy like McDuffie or Cooper DeJean. But I don't hate Stephon Gilmore either. Hey, thanks for watching another episode of the PFF College Football Show. Please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.
Also, subscribe to PFF Plus at subscribe.pff.com for all of the same data and grades that we use in our show, plus fantasy tools, betting tools, and our mock draft simulator.